In 1990, the average UK house cost around 3.5 times the average annual salary. Today, that number is closer to 9 times. In London, it is more than 12. A generation ago, buying your first home was difficult. Today, for millions of people, it has quietly crossed the line from difficult into something that feels closer to impossible. And yet, nobody in a position of authority is saying that out loud. What you hear instead is save harder, cut the avocado toast, stop renting and get on the ladder, as if the problem is discipline rather than mathematics. This video is not going to tell you to save harder. It is going to show you exactly what the data says, why the system is designed the way it is, and what your realistic options actually look like in 2025. Some of what follows will make you angry. That is the appropriate response. To understand where we are, you need to understand how we got here. And the story starts not with house prices, but with a policy decision made in 1980 and changed the trajectory of British housing permanently. The Right to Buy scheme allowed council tenants to purchase their homes at significant discounts. On the surface, that sounds like an expansion of homeownership. In practice, it removed millions of affordable homes from the social housing stock, and they were never replaced. Supply dropped, demand kept rising, prices followed. Then came the planning restrictions. The UK builds significantly fewer homes per capita than almost every comparable European nation. Germany, France, the Netherlands all build at higher rates relative to population. Britain has some of the most complex and restrictive planning laws in the developed world, and they have kept supply artificially constrained for decades, while demand from a growing population kept pushing in the opposite direction. Then came historically low interest rates after 2008, which made borrowing cheap and pushed house prices even higher as more money chased the same limited supply. Every one of these forces compounded the last one, and the result is the market that exists today, where the average first-time buyer in the UK is now 34 years old. Not 24, not even 29, 34. That number has moved by nearly a decade in a single generation, and almost nobody in mainstream conversation treats it as the crisis it obviously is. Here's the arithmetic that stops most people before they even start. The average UK house price at the time of this video is around £285,000. A 10% deposit on that figure is £28,500. A 5% deposit is £14,250. Those numbers sound achievable until you factor in the reality of saving them on a typical salary after rent, bills, food, and the basic cost of existing in 2025. The average UK salary is around £35,000 before tax. After tax and national insurance, that lands at roughly £27,500 in take-home pay, meaning someone on an average salary earning an average wage needs to save roughly a full year of their entire net income just to cover a 10% deposit on an average-priced home, and that assumes prices stay still while they save, which they historically have not. There is also a cruel mathematics to the deposit itself. The more house prices rise while you are saving, the larger the absolute deposit you need becomes, even if the percentage stays the same. Someone saving for a 10% deposit on a £250,000 home needs £25,000. If prices rise 10% while they save, the home now costs £275,000 and the deposit has grown to £27,500. The target is moving faster than most people can run toward it, and this is before stamp duty, solicitor fees, survey costs, and moving expenses, which typically add another £5,000 to £15,000 on top of the deposit itself. There is a phrase that has done enormous financial damage to an entire generation. Renting is throwing money away. You hear it from parents. You hear it from estate agents. You hear it repeated as financial wisdom by people who bought their homes at 3 times their salary and cannot understand why the same path seems closed to everyone who came after them. Here is the reality. Renting is paying for somewhere to live. So is buying. The difference is that buying also comes with mortgage interest, which in the early years of a repayment mortgage is the majority of your monthly payment. It comes with maintenance costs that research suggests average 1 to 2% of the property value annually. It comes with the risk of negative equity if prices fall, and it comes with significantly less flexibility to move for work, for relationships, or for any other reason that changes your life. None of this means renting is better than buying. Over a long enough time horizon in the right market, buying almost always wins. But the binary choice between good ownership and bad renting is a false one, and it has kept millions of people feeling like failures for not achieving something the system has made structurally difficult. Someone who rents affordably invests the difference between their rent and what a mortgage would cost and builds a diversified portfolio over 20 years may end up in a significantly stronger financial position than someone who stretched to buy at the peak of the market and spent 2 decades asset-rich and cash-poor. So if the system is broken, what do you actually do? The honest answer is that there is no single solution that makes the problem disappear. But there are tools that meaningfully improve the position of anyone working toward a first purchase, and most people are either not using them or not using them correctly. The Lifetime ISA is the most underused first-time buyer tool in the UK right now. You can save up to £4,000 a year into a Lifetime ISA, and the government adds a 25% bonus on top. That is up to £1,000 of free money every year toward your deposit. Over 5 years of maximum contributions, that bonus alone adds £5,000 to your deposit that you did not have to earn. The account must be open for at least 12 months before you use it, and the property must cost £450,000 or less. But for the majority of first-time buyers outside of central London, those conditions are met. If you are under 40 and not already contributing to a Lifetime ISA, the question is not whether you should open one. The question is why you have not already. Shared ownership is the second option worth understanding properly. You buy a percentage of a property, typically between 25 and 75%, and pay rent on the remainder. It is not a perfect solution. The rent element, service charges, and restrictions on selling can make it more complex than standard ownership. But for people who cannot bridge the gap to a full deposit in a reasonable time frame, it provides a route into property ownership that keeps pace with at least some of the market movement while they build equity. The property ladder is not broken because people stopped trying hard enough. It is broken because the system that built it was designed for an economy that no longer exists. Understanding that is not an excuse to give up. It is the starting point for making better decisions with the reality you actually face, rather than the one you were told to expect. Every week on this channel, we break down exactly this kind of thing: the financial systems, the structural realities, and the decisions that make a genuine difference. Subscribe so you never miss one. The Sterling Exchange newsletter is in the description. Free, 30 seconds. I will see you next Tuesday.